And welcome back to the Unfiltered Sports Weekly. I'm the Beebs.
I'm the Kev.
St. Joe back in the hizzy.
And guys, I so glad to see you all in one
Are you?
place again. I really am. But before we get started, I would be remiss if I didn't say the Knicks should go. What's the famous phrase? Kev,
Fuck themselves?
that's the one.
Yeah.
That's the one. That one's for a very special friend of ours.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
He knows who he is.
Yeah.
He knows who he is.
Nothing good happens in New York.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Nothing good happens in New York.
I did
No.
like how was it what's his name? Vinny
DiVincenzo?
Yes, was like jawing. Well, actually, the Pacer players were jawing at the fans, which they had every right to be because they whooped them. But yeah, it was it was pretty fun.
On a serious note about the Knicks, they fucking suck, and they couldn't win, but they did have some injuries.
They did.
They did have some injuries. However, I was more shocked, and I know you guys are shocked that I actually watched some NBA. And this weekend, I kind of took some time off of baseball because if you've seen the latest stretch of Braves games, you'll know why. And I had to.
I saw some highlights and I thought, oh, I'm sure Kev's
And
not happy.
yeah, but I gotta tell you about this here real quick. So I'm driving around as I've been known to do, and on Friday morning, and I call the Beebs, and I'm like, hey man, somebody got in trouble for driving and it wasn't me.
Yes, we're gonna get to that. I think we'll hold that thought,
You
but
know,
I think we'll get to that.
but I'm shocked that the Denver Nuggets got beat.
Are you?
That's
I'm not.
that's
I'm
that's
not shocked.
That
I'm not
sucks
shocked.
too because we have some good friends that are Denver Nuggets fans, and so misery loves company. So while the Braves are getting their ass whipped, I just wanted to give a shout out to all the Denver Nuggets fans out there. That are gonna sit back and watch the Mavs.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
The Nuggets were not as good this year. I do see the Mavs as a team that could go to the finals now. I
Yeah.
didn't think they were that good, but
does it really matter?
now they're gonna
No.
have to play the Celtics.
Yeah, aren't the Celtics just gonna win?
They're good this
I
year.
don't know. The Mavs
That
are on a
said,
pretty good run. I
that's
mean,
true. They beat a really good team. They beat two really good teams.
they have the
Yeah.
Mavs. Look now. I mean, Luca is a big baby and he complains a lot.
He
But
doesn't play defense, and that could be the reason if they don't win. That'll
yeah,
be the
but
reason.
but that guy is good, man. I've watched more basketball within the last couple of weeks than I've watched for a long time, and yeah, it's still horrible. I mean, it's still not good. Um, but um, but yeah, whoa, something's going on. Yeah, but it's not good. But it's just we'll see. We'll see. I'm glad to see different teams in the mix this time because like the Timberwolves haven't been there for Kevin Garnett. I mean, I think the last time they've been there in the playoffs. So good to see other teams in the mix.
I do think Anthony Edwards might be the up and coming best player in the NBA.
Yeah,
The guy who plays
Anthony
for the
Edwards
T-Wolves.
is really good. I did want to see. I thought Oklahoma um,
They're too
was a
young.
better team. They're young. They're young.
They're too
but
young.
I mean,
Giving up 20-point leads.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a young team right there.
but they'll be okay. They'll come back and they'll learn. And you know, it just didn't go their way, but that's okay. Um, but yeah, the
So-
Celtics have had a couple days to sit there and mull it over and watch, and I think
They had a
that
competitive series with the Knicks. I mean, this year they were like the Knicks were played with boss. I mean, that series, if the Knicks are the ones that show up, it is nice to see the Pacers Knicks rivalry reunited, isn't it, Kev?
Where are the Pacers from?
Indiana.
Oh, yeah.
Indiana.
Yeah.
There was a
Does Reggie Miller
documentary.
still play for them?
No, he's too
No.
busy doing Wendy's commercials.
Okay. Oh, that's who Caitlin Clark plays for, right?
Yeah, the Indiana.
Yeah, the Fever. Yeah, she's
okay.
not doing too well.
Okay. I saw her nailing down fucking threes the other night.
Well, she was hitting them, but they still haven't won a game.
Yeah,
could have
because
won
they
a
suck.
game.
That's
They're the
why they
worst
had the
team.
#1 fucking pick.
Oh, they
It's like
could have won a game, but
okay,
yeah.
this is the way it works, St. Joe. Is that teams that fucking suck get the #1 pick? You should know that better than anybody.
Oh, that hurts. That hurts.
I know that better than anybody. I'm a Jacksonville Jaguar fan. Damn it, we had the
Yeah.
#1 pick 2 years in a fucking row.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know?
you
And our
did.
generational talent drops the fucking ball.
Yeah, he does a lot, a lot.
He throws interceptions too. Just saying.
Yeah, thank you. And our next #1 pick doesn't sack a fucking person.
Oh wow, wow. Kev's a little bitter tonight. I don't know if this is a good thing or a
And
bad
I'm
thing.
bitter because there's 2 fucking people watching that haven't fucking commented yet.
Oh boy, oh boy.
So while we're on that streak, I wanted to bring something up, and because I really wanted to ask Kev, because I feel like he's going to know more about it than me. News story. I only got to read about it a little bit, but the University of Florida and Billy Napier are getting sued by a former player, right? Is
Oh,
that
boy.
what's going on?
Yeah.
This is funny that you want to bring this up. I don't know if you want to go down this road.
Actually, I wasn't going to bring it up because I wanted to laugh at the Gators. I wanted to know if there was more to that story.
Yeah,
That
the
made
the NIL is ruining college sports.
That's right. That's right.
That's it. Okay, so this guy that we recruited had like a, I don't know why he's suing Billy Napier because Billy Napier had nothing to do with it. But he basically had an NIL deal for was it 13.2 million, something like that.
That was the claim anyway, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, he did. And in Gainesville, Florida, 13.2 million, you might as well have $1 billion. I mean, it's a lot of money.
Right.
You know, and anyhow, it didn't work out. You know, whoever was going to pay him that money said, go fuck yourself, you know, and he wound up going to Georgia, I think, right? And, or
Well,
something.
he ended
like
up at
that.
Arizona State, didn't he?
Okay, Arizona State.
Now
And
he's
so-
at Georgia.
So yeah, so he's suing them, and I mean, it's just
So, I mean-
yet another example of how they got to get some control over this NIL,
Yes.
or it's gonna fuck some shit up.
Oh, it already did. It already has. But my question, I guess, in the story was, did they just not pay him, or did he leave and then they didn't pay him?
Well, I think they wanted to make a change to the deal because somebody didn't own up to their end of the bargain.
Like the player.
Right. And so
Right.
because they were going to change the deal, the player took off and said, I'm not staying here.
So then I would assume that I don't know anything about these NIL. Are they contracts? I mean, are they handshake deals? I don't understand what they are. But I mean, like, if it's a contract, surely in the contract they have it written out. Okay, well, if you leave the school, we're not paying you.
Right. And also, if we're going to get into players suing schools or players suing coaches you're going to set a horrible precedent.
Dangerous.
You know, I mean, then everybody's going to do it. I mean, this is the give it to me now generation. This is the let me make the most amount of money for the least amount of work, you know, generation. I mean, it's you know, this generation doesn't want to provide value. They just want attention.
That's right.
You know, and I mean, Babes, you're a teacher. You know, I mean, you see it. You know, I mean, it's all
every
about
day.
you know how many clicks they get, how many likes they get, you know how many comments they get. I mean, you know, we're all 40 plus. We don't get any fucking comments. We're still fucking here. You know, and this is the second time I brought up comments. There will be a third.
We don't get them every week, but
What you don't know is the two people watching are me and St. Joe.
You know, you click on there before the thing starts, and there's like one waiting. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
somebody's waiting. Oh, damn, it's me.
Yeah.
You know, but I think I'm not a fan of the NIL. I never was. I kind of agree with Tebow. Where I mean, it has no place. But if you're going to start suing people, and setting that type of precedent,
There's a potential there that college that could really handcuff college football,
yeah,
right? I mean, like if he can sue a head coach, like if he can sue a head coach for making promises on an NIL deal, isn't that supposed to be separate?
yeah, they've got to have some level of protection for the coach. I'm sure they
Right.
do. I'm
Sure.
sure they do. But to name the head coach in a lawsuit through a court that civil case that has nothing to do with anything other than the fact that I mean what was the I don't want to use the term charge, but was it fraud?
Something like that. They said that he made a promise and then never didn't deliver, I guess is what it was said.
Well, the kid didn't play for Florida, so that could be construed as he didn't deliver.
No, I see, and that's where I'm at with these NIL deals. This is real shady. This is like real. I think we've had a little bit of. I mean, we've talked about this a little bit. Like, what happens if the kid doesn't stay? He signs this NIL deal, but then he leaves. Like, do you still pay him?
No.
It should go away.
Right. So, like, if you're signing an NIL deal, there should be a contractual obligation for that player to stay where he's at in order to receive payment.
Well, not necessarily because it's his image.
Right. So I see the issue. Like there's that this is the confusing part about it is like getting NIL deals from locations where these colleges are. They're giving you the money so you'll come to that college even though it's an image deal, right? Isn't that I mean like we don't know. I guess I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't
Yes.
know.
But I mean, it's just like if you're using his image for the game, like for NCAA, football or whatever for the video game. I mean, he could get an NIL deal for that. And
Right.
if that's the case, then it doesn't matter who he plays for because you can trade him in whatever game that he is. You know what I mean, within the game.
Sure.
But he's getting the deal for his likeness to use in that game.
Right, but why would you sue the head coach in the university for a name, image, and likeness deal when
Right.
they're going to use it anyway on the field?
Right. So it doesn't have validity. I mean, there's something more to it.
Well, that's why I think that's why I'm so confused is because if it's a name, image, likeness deal, you're paying him for his image, then you should be able to use his image no matter what team he goes and plays for. If it's an actual name, image, likeness deal, right? So if he goes to another team, you should still own that right to use his image, right?
correct.
But you don't want to pay him now because he plays for someone else's team for another school, even though these things are supposed to be separate, right?
Right. So there has to be something in the lawsuit that has to do with the contract that they signed for the
Right.
likeness.
Right.
And
So
then
if
it
he
would has
leaves
to do
the
with
school-
fraud or something to say that there has to be something with the validity of the contract that he's suing for.
This is
Right.
what happens when you give 18-year-olds that much money.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
I guess I'm just concerned that if it's in that contractual agreement that he has to play for the school, that can't be a thing. So whoever,
Well, maybe that's what the problem with the contract is.
maybe that is right. I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff that could come out of this that terrifies me. Like one, like if I'm a Florida Gator fan, I'm worried I lose my head coach. That's first thing.
No. A true Gator fan could care less. They want Billy Napier
Yeah.
going anyway.
I
do
don't
they?
see this.
Yeah.
I don't see this case going anywhere.
It's not. It can't because of the precedent it sets, and also what the fuck does the head coach have to do with name, image, and likeness?
Right. And I see there's too many outs and there's too many possibilities that it could be this, it could be this, it could be this. That is just going to say you
claim-
don't have any basis to have a case here.
The claim that I saw was now, granted, unless they have emails or something in writing, but the claim that I saw was that Billy Napier was the one being like the go-between between the people paying him or paying the NIL deal and the player. That was the I guess the charges, or that's what the claim was. The claim was that Billy Napier was the one actually negotiating on behalf of the NIL deal. If that's the case, bad things are getting ready to happen. But you would have to have written
Well,
evidence of that.
right. Well, look, you just spent the last 5 minutes saying you don't even really know what the case is about.
Well, no, I
So,
just read. What I'm
yeah.
saying is I'm regurgitating the information that of the one tweet that I saw.
Right.
That's
Right.
all.
And that's just all fabricated to say, here's a story of what might happen, and here's this, and it's a headline grabber. And I just don't see this going anywhere. None whatsoever.
No, I mean if it does go somewhere, college football's in trouble.
It's in trouble
story,
anyway.
Yeah,
The
that's
story
true.
that it should have been is NIL is screwing up college football beyond belief, and that it's they need to have a story to say what do we do about it, not what is it doing now. It's where do we go from here? And
You know what we need? We need the sound bite of Nick Nolte and Blue Chips going, "It's about goddamn money."
that's right.
You know?
That's right. That's right. I think the biggest thing that they see is Nick Saban saw the writing on the wall way ahead of everything, and that's why he's out of football.
Yeah, I mean, admittedly, he said that that all they care about is money. They don't care about the team. They don't care about winning championships. They don't care about they care about money.
Yep.
And
We got
They lost.
and then you have Dabo Swinney, who doesn't really take transfers for that reason.
he said that a transfer can be anybody, and he had like 20 transfers from high school.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what Dabo said.
They had
Yeah.
they had a large recruiting class that was good from apparently at Clemson, but he's not taking all these guys who are chasing the money. Neither is neither is Brian Kelly, right? We talked about that last week. So
Anyhow, I'm going to go on record by saying anybody that thinks the NIL is 1% good for college football is a fucking idiot.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
And
good
I
for the
will
players.
die on this hill. I invite them on this program if they could fucking handle it, because I'll get violent. Because they are
God.
killing a sport that I care about deeply.
Yeah.
it's
know what I'm
going to be
saying?
it's going to be a bloody death. I mean, it's
Yeah.
not
So
gonna be,
if you're out there in listener land and you think the NIL is a good idea for college football, please come on this program. My blood pressure is really good right now. I need to fuck it up.
Okay. Well, okay. Well, let me tell you a little something. So I listened to your podcast last week without
Uh-oh.
me, and I didn't realize that I was the glue that held this show together.
Wow. You know what's funny, St. Joe? I didn't realize that either.
You guys have a trivia thing about Olympics when I'm gone and all these sports, and I'm yelling at the radio, going, "Jesus, you guys!"
You know
are
what? You know what I'm
stupid."
hearing, Kev? I'm hearing Kev. I mean, if he's yelling at the
Wow.
radio and like trying to answer the questions, it sounds like we did a pretty good job.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. I mean, you want some trivia? I mean,
Wow.
bring it on. Bring the
Unbelievable.
trivia to the tape. Here, I'll look up some trivia right now. What
No.
is
What?
Star Wars trivia.
I was away, a little trip to the homestead, and I got a little story for you, and I think that you guys will like this one. So, go up there. If you listen to my podcast, I had a couple of parties that were going, a little surprise party, and one of them was in the beautiful backyard. Oh my God. I wish we had grass like that up there, because it's just different. We got this shitty St. Augustine grass down here, but this grass up there was beautiful backyard, everything laid out. And this for my nephew, who he went to Dubuque, Iowa on a soccer scholarship. So I'm sitting here,
Good for him.
and we're good soccer player. Everything was great.
What
So
a
we're sitting
poor
here.
soul.
Oh God. So we're sitting here talking, and he goes and he wants to tell us about a story. And he said, "Yeah, we were down we all went with a bunch of his soccer buddies on a trip, and they were sitting on the beach and they're kicking the ball around, and they're just playing beach soccer, which apparently is different than regular soccer. I don't know how it is, but
Yeah, it's on the
they,
beach.
well, no, there's some different rules apparently to it, but whatever. They had drawn out a court on the beach, and some people had walked up and they said, "Hey, do you mind if we get a game?" And he's like, "Yeah, no problem." They're there with all their buddies, and they start playing, and it started off real kind of nice and easy. And then all of a sudden, these guys that just came out of the woodwork just proceeded to whoop their ass. And they're like, "Who is this?" You know,
Were
and
they
they're,
pros?
they
They were
just
pros.
started to go and started to go and started to go. Well, they come to find out that it is the like Nigerian Junior Olympics team or whatever that was just trying to get a practice game in before they were going to their real match. And they're like, "This is crazy." And he was trying to explain. So all of his buddies are around, and then he starts going and he goes, "Yeah, the rule is this, and you can't do this, and you can't do this, and you can't do this." And one by one by one by one, as he's starting to go into the depth and the explanation of soccer, you see each one of his buddies going, "I gotta go get a beer. I gotta go back to my wife. I gotta go back," and all you see is no soccer. That's all you see. Nothing at all that wants to do with soccer. And they all go over to another area and they start talking. And I'm like, it's eventually left to me and one other person. And he starts talking about what's going on with Manchester U because that's his team. And yeah, they're selling off players. And I said, and then he brings up the word relegation. And I said, I got to go. I got to go. And I go
You got
over
relegated.
to
Yeah.
I go over to the other crowd. And what are they talking about? They're talking about football in the Green Bay Packers. And they're having a knockdown, drag out conversation about Jordan Love and how the Packers are going to do this year. And of course, oh my God, they're going to go undefeated and they're going to the Super Bowl and blah, 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 blah. And they start going and all this stuff. And I'm like, now this is a conversation. And then it starts getting more in depth, and people are yelling at each other, and they're like, "Oh, they're the whole Wisconsin. Oh, you don't know what you're talking about." And they get down to the point where the argument comes into, 17 years with Brett Favre, 18 years with Aaron Rodgers, and now they think that Jordan Love is going to be there for the next 18 years. And I'm like, no, I don't know if that's going to happen, but maybe he is. Whatever.
Do players do that anymore?
I mean, they do, but one guy made the comparison of Jordan Love to Ben Roethlisberger.
Not yet.
And I said,
Not
no way, dude. So it brings me up to this. And I said, Ben Roethlisberger, let's talk about that. And I said, all right, let's think, who is the better quarterback? Ben Roethlisberger or Aaron Rodgers?
Aaron Rodgers.
Keb?
I think it depends on what you want the quarterback to
Right.
do.
Right.
I think if you want the quarterback to run somebody the fuck over, it's Roethlisberger. I think if you want somebody to throw a Hail Mary, it's Rodgers. I think if you want somebody not to lead your parade and Pride Month, it's Roethlisberger. I think if you want somebody not to do mushrooms and all this, it's Roethlisberger.
Well,
I'll put it this way: if I were starting an NFL franchise and could take one of the two in their prime, I'll take Roethlisberger.
okay. And so I went and I looked and I compared some stats, right? So, and I honestly didn't think that they would be that close or comparable because I'm thinking, well, Rodgers, despite what I think of him, he's a pretty good quarterback. As a person, he's an idiot. But I'm thinking, okay, he's got a, there's certain things about him. He's a good arm. Is he durable? He's done some things. Sure. Roethlisberger was a machine. and he's a big boy. He's a truck, right? I mean, he can take hits, he can do things, and I'm like, okay, so Big Ben versus Aaron Rodgers, 18 seasons versus 18 seasons. 13 playoff wins for Big Ben, 12 playoff wins for Aaron Rodgers. Big Ben's number 5 on the all-time passing. Aaron Rodgers, number 9.
Is that
Big
like
Ben,
yardage or what?
I don't have the yardage, but
What is that, like
just
QB rating? Or?
all-time passing yardage, yeah. Big Ben's number 5, Aaron Rodgers number 9. Fourth quarter comebacks. Big Ben is number 3 with 4. What? That can't be right. He's number 3 in fourth quarter comebacks. And then Aaron Rodgers is number 28.
All time?
All
No,
time.
Okay.
Yep. Come on, get out of there. 500-yard passing games. Big Ben has 4. Aaron Rodgers, 0. I couldn't believe that one. Get out of here, you dummy. 166 career wins for Big Ben, 149 for Rodgers. And here's the biggest one. 3 Super Bowls appearances for Big Ben, winning 2. 1 Super Bowl appearance for Rodgers, and he won 1. So when you come down to it, I mean, Big Ben's a much better quarterback than Aaron
definitely
Rodgers.
When it came to the playoff scenario, I mean, Aaron Rodgers went to the playoffs like every year, won one game and then said,
yeah, but his playoff record is horrible.
Yeah, like he won one game and then that was it. Like every year. I mean, one year they were a wild card team. They were 8-8 and they won the Super Bowl. Don't know how. Don't ask me how, but they did.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, Kev made the I think the correct point. I mean, like if I need a dagger thrown over the middle at like 50 yards, Aaron Rodgers is your guy, but you don't get that very often. Ben Roethlisberger makes the plays. When he was playing, he made plays happen.
He could also take a hit.
Yeah.
He did make a lot of plays off the field as well.
Like what?
And Aaron Rodgers hasn't?
No, I don't know if you want to have the plays that Big Ben made off the field.
He got in trouble off the field. Nobody remembers. Like he's the family guy now. Everybody thinks of him, but
he is a family guy now. But
he got in trouble early on.
He did get a lot of trouble, allegedly.
Yeah, to his credit, those charges were dropped.
Never came.
Never
out,
saw the light of day. Yeah.
I wouldn't let him get on a motorcycle. But
no. One more thing. Since I'm in the NFL, I'm just gonna drop it right now for my drama, because I know Mama D. I'm not gonna make her wait until the end of the thing. But in case you guys haven't heard, Taylor Swift, since I seem to have a Taylor Swift fetish, did you see that they had to adjust the NFL schedule according to her concert schedule?
I didn't.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah. Kev knows exactly what I'm talking about.
I don't think they adjusted it because of her schedule, but they took her schedule into account when they were making the schedule.
Oh, yeah, they did. Because if she plays a concert in Indianapolis is on bye. She plays a concert in New Orleans is on bye. And she ends in Miami, and guess what? Miami is on bye.
Yeah, I mean, she could play 2 here because we got 2 games in London.
Oh, she's opening in Jacksonville. Isn't the opening the home opener against KC?
But she doesn't have a concert here, does she?
No, but she'll be here.
Oh, joy.
Oh, I bet you she'll be here.
Do you ever look at her in the face and be like, you look like Napoleon Dynamite in drag?
Yes, I've seen that meme, and but I don't care what you say. She's still the #1 selling sex doll.
Yeah, she looks like a fucking horse.
Say what you will.
You know,
Oh, Keb.
Say what you will, but
she
yes.
does.
And look, as far as drama goes, Taylor Swift is like low level this week.
Oh, well, now, yeah, you said that Big Ben had all his charges dropped. That was the other drama.
right.
There were some other charges that were dropped
Scotty
today.
Scotty Scheffler, the number one golfer in the world, okay, he decides that he's going to drive while, a police officer is holding on to his vehicle.
Allegedly. There's no body camera.
Right.
That cop just happens to not have his body camera on.
Also not a golf fan. Can't possibly be a golf fan.
You guys, I not to start a conspiracy theory and not to piss off, those people who protect us on a day in and day out basis, but the Louisville Metro Police Department is the same police department that basically did a no-knock warrant and shot Breonna Taylor for no fucking reason, So
they don't mess around down there.
Right, and in Kentucky, they're all fucking their sister anyway.
Oh boy,
So I mean, this is Louisville, Kentucky, where the favorite pastime is to bet on horses, drink mint juleps, and apparently direct cops. I mean, it's a classic cop thing. Hey, go over there, and then when they go over there, hey, don't go over there. Hey, stop, and then do depending on which story that you believe.
Yeah.
But
I believe Scotty Scheffler's story.
I will tell you this. I would have loved to be. I mean, 5 minutes after that happened, the commissioner of the PGA of America, who's best friends with Jay Monahan, the PGA Tour commissioner, right? Who's best friends with the USGA commissioner. They get together and they're like, if they don't let this motherfucker out, there will never be another major in the state of Kentucky.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, we will pull out all PGA Tour stops, the PGA of America, which governs the PGA Championship. They're like, we ain't coming back here. Valhalla is a beautiful course.
Yeah.
But we ain't coming back here, and we're gonna make sure the U.S. Open doesn't come back here either.
You're right.
And naturally they didn't get Augusta National on the horn because the Masters is played in the same place every year, and I don't really think they're gonna bring the British Open over here. Yeah, I think they're mad at us for some reason, probably because we beat them in 2 wars. Yeah, so I don't think the British Open's coming to America. But I just there had to be, when he was sitting in jail, and everybody's like, this dude's gonna have to withdraw. He's not gonna make his tee time. There had to be some pressure from the politics of we will not come back here. This is our golden goose. We need him on the TV. Tiger sucks now. I mean, we need.
He did last weekend.
We need our golden goose. People are tuning in just to see what this dude is gonna do. And
he went out and shot a hell of a round.
Yeah, I think he shot 66,
65,
66. Yeah. On Friday. Saturday, did you hear the drama about him on Saturday?
No.
So Saturday he shot 3 over?
Something like that.
He didn't have a good round, no.
Yeah. Well, his caddy, who has been with him since college, right?
Mm-hmm.
His caddy's son was graduating from high school, and he took that day off. So if you look at Thursday, he shoots 5 under. Friday, he shoots 66, 65, whatever he shoots. Saturday, he shoots 3 over. Then Sunday, he came back and shot a 65.
That's funny.
Yeah, and the one day that his normal caddy wasn't there, and the chaplain of the PGA Tour, not the PGA of America, but the PGA Tour, was his caddy that day. And I'm just like, they had to bring church into it, and the dude shoots over par, and he's just like, God still loves you,
You know what? Scotty Scheffler might not have won the golf tournament, but you know what did win for Scotty Scheffler? The memes.
Oh man, no, the fan that won, that got his mugshot and got it on a T-shirt and was standing on the tee box, won. That dude is hilarious.
If you're Scotty Scheffler at this moment, you got to be like, dude, this is. First of all, it was a nightmare, but this is hilarious. I mean, like this is
Oh, yeah.
the funny, like the Rory McIlroy. Like, here's a picture of, like they put his face on like that cop that arrested him, and he said, "This is the arresting cop
That's funny.
outside Valhalla."
Well, the best one, they said what he should have done is he should have dressed like Ricky Fowler, all in orange. They said that would have been hilarious if he would have shown up dressed all in orange.
I tell you, I'm impressed with Scheffler's composure.
Oh, yeah.
Because, I mean, if
Can't
that would
believe-
have happened to anybody, golf would have been the farthest thing for them,
Yeah.
I was,
Yeah,
I was texting a friend of ours, and I said, I can't imagine that he would shoot well after that. And then, like 4 or 5 hours later, he had shot 5 under, and I'm like, this man's a machine.
Yeah.
Nothing shakes that guy. It was unreal.
So
I
you
guarantee
got-
you there was some money swept under the table. The guy made $32 million in 25 days. I'm sure he just said, seriously, dude. Just
I seriously think that the state of Kentucky was threatened. You know, I seriously think there was some calling Senator Rand Paul,
yeah,
So,
no
like-
doubt.
the PGA Tour or PGA of America.
Well, here's my question: is like, in what world or state, other state, like, I can't see what he did as an arrestable offense.
Okay, so what they said was when the cop put his hand on the car and the car was still moving at a slow pace for 10 feet, that is an assault on a law enforcement officer.
Because he
I
dragged
just
the
think
cop.
that is a gross overreach of, like, I get why you're stressed out. Like, that whole situation was tragic. I get it. Like, they're all on high alert. I got it.
Well, it's also similar to when a cop stands on somebody's throat for 7 minutes.
Yeah. No.
Yeah,
I
don't
mean,
think
they're not the same thing, but
right.
But yeah.
What I'm saying is cops tend to take things to the extremes. I'm not saying all cops. I'm just saying, a couple, and they do make mistakes. They're human, just like everybody else. Not making an excuse for them, but that whole thing was ridiculous. And you can't tell me that these cops are outside. What we're forgetting is a guy died. A guy died.
That's why everybody's stressed out. You know what I mean?
And so these cops are out there. The only people they're letting through are golfers to get into Valhalla. So, you can't tell me that Scheffler didn't show him some credential, or something to prove that, hey, look, I'm going there. I mean, they were trying to play like they didn't know who he was. Bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah.
My question was, like,
Dude's got an ESPN reporter in the car with him.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
over the weekend, like 2 days later, like Sunday, I saw a report saying the district attorney was considering dropping the charges. Like, you're considering dropping the charges? Really? Like, why was that? Why is it taking you this long?
because
Like,
if they don't, Valhalla is going to be the next public course.
Yeah.
But
It's going to charge $25 to play there.
I read some report that, like, he was going to have to be arraigned on Monday. Like, he was going to have to appear in court in Louisville for his crime, which was
Yeah.
assault of a peace officer. They put you
Yeah.
in jail for 10 years for that.
Yeah, it was punishable up to 10 to 12
Right.
years in jail. It was
Yeah,
that
it's
was the
a
crime.
third-degree felony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no body cam footage. Everybody's got their camera out showing that, hey, he complied, like.
There was a static cam on a pole, but they couldn't get a good enough view of what happened up here.
Jeff Darlington was in the fucking car with him and had his phone going the whole
Yeah.
fucking time.
Yeah.
My favorite part about that whole exchange was he's going to jail. That's all that's all there is to it. There's no other question.
There's nothing you can do about it. Jeff
There's
Darlington.
nothing you can do about it.
And the cop tries to get aggressive with him, and Darlington like, I'm media, dude.
Yeah.
And then the cop just backs off. Okay, do you have any questions? Yeah, I got a why the fuck you arrested him?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just
The whole
it
thing
was-
was pretty comical.
when I pulled out of the driveway and I turned on the local sports radio, And the guys that I listen to in the morning, one of them is a huge golf fan. Big golfer, local golfer named Jeff Prosser, and I've listened to him for years. And and he said we have breaking news. I'm like they fucking traded Trevor Lawrence. I mean because every time there's breaking news, it's something fucked up with the Jaguars, right? And he kind of had this like sarcastic tone in his voice,
Right.
and I'm like it's got to be the Jags. And he's like Scotty Scheffler has been arrested and detained in Louisville, Kentucky. Like that. And all I could think was they really hate it in Kentucky when you tell them that or they mispronounce the
Louisville.
name of their capital.
Yeah. Yeah.
He must have said something, right?
Yeah.
It's
Anyhow,
it was funny.
but yeah. When I pulled out of there, and I remember I called Beeps. I'm like, hey, dude, Scotty Scheffler's a hardened criminal. I mean, he's a hardened criminal.
The favorite meme I saw today is he's on the tee box and he's got one tear.
Yes.
One
tattoo.
Yeah.
Or how about the one with Tiger Woods? Like the guy who's the guy rolling up to pick up Scotty Scheffler from the police station?
Right.
Big dog.
Well, he's
Yeah.
familiar with it. He's familiar with the station.
Right.
My favorite one was a picture, and it had Tiger and Shooter McGavin, Christopher McDonald. It had John Daly and now Scotty Scheffler, and it said "Welcome to the club."
No, yeah,
All their
that's
mug
funny.
shots.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know if you've ever seen that clip when Tiger's walking from hole number 9 to hole number 10 at Torrey Pines, and a guy in the gallery has a T-shirt with his mugshot on it, and Tiger looks at it and he just kind of smirks. I'm like, if Tiger really wanted to be cool, he'd go over there and sign that shirt.
yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, but he just kind of smirks and laughs, But I don't know if Scheffler doesn't have near the personality that Tiger has. I mean, he just doesn't show it. He said on after his round on Sunday that he tries to stay quiet when he's off the course. He's like, I didn't achieve that this week.
Yeah,
And my favorite tweet about it all week was Max Homa. And he's a golfer if you don't know that. And he said, didn't have a really good time at Valhalla. Literally lost to a guy that was in jail on Friday. Not a good look for me. On to Texas.
Regardless, the rest of the tournament, man, was amazing. That was some crazy good golf.
For the first time in my life, I found myself. I'm very glad that we don't have to hear Xander Schauffele's the best player never to win a major anymore. You don't have to hear that anymore.
Yeah,
and he held him off, which he didn't do at the Wells Fargo. He let Rory come back because he had it won, but he didn't do that at the Wells Fargo. But for the first time, I found myself rooting for DeChambeau.
Crazy, wasn't it?
Yeah,
kind of
because
wanted the guy to win.
Usually I put him. I was rooting hard for a playoff because I didn't want it to end. Because I will tell you this: Bryson DeChambeau and Victor Hovland put on a fucking show.
Yeah, they did.
They were the pair to watch.
Yep.
I will say this: I DeChambeau at one point hit an 8-iron, 232 yards to 3 feet of the pin.
Yeah. And when the dumbass shot of the day was Xander. He's on hole 10, which is an easy par
in the
5.
sand trap. Yep.
He's in the trap. He takes a fucking 4-wood out of the trap. Like that, and I'm like, this is not going to work out.
Even the announcer's like, I don't like this play.
Like, this is not going to work out. But what does he do? On 11 and 12, stiffs them both, birdies them both. Yeah. After he pars an easy par 5.
Yeah,
it was just a great coming down the stretch. It was like, because sometimes in golf it's like no one wants to win this and everybody's choking and all this. Nah, man, that was a
for the birds.
See if you can do this better. We're gonna make you win this.
And
and he did. Yeah.
Even like 4, 5, and 6. Right until down to. I don't know, maybe I would say not the last few holes, but like Shane Lowry, for example, he was in it, but then he fell apart. he fell apart.
So did Morikawa.
Yeah,
Morikawa shot an even par. You know, had one birdie, one birdie, one bogey.
Yeah.
And you know, my son's like, "Oh man, he sucks," and I'm like, "I would give my right arm to have that scorecard."
yeah,
Yeah.
no
And
doubt.
that's
No
and
doubt.
that swing, my
Yeah.
goodness, he can
Yeah.
swing the club.
Yeah, but I mean, it was impressive to see. I mean, that was some incredible golf that was going on, and that course is like Kev, you said. I've walked that course a couple times. I watched some events, and that course is beautiful, beautiful course.
If they the only thing is if they talked about the limestone one more fucking time.
Well, number 13 is a pretty gorgeous hole.
Yeah, I'm glad it was a great major because the PGA is usually considered, you know, the lesser of the four.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
Scores are generally a lot lower, I think, on
Yeah,
that in that
I,
tournament than they
I'll
are.
tell you, the USGA was watching. They're like, okay, well, you're not going to do that shit, you know, in the U.S. Open, you know.
No.
And and somebody asked the USGA one time. He said, "Yeah, are you trying to embarrass the best golfers in the world?" And they said, "No, we're just trying to find out who that is."
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. And I
Well,
said, "Well, it's not fun when the winner is 2 over. That's not fun. You know, we didn't come over here to watch bogey golf. You know, I just thought it was a fun golf tournament. Yeah, a lot more fun than the Masters was, in my opinion.
Well,
This year.
It did show though that the live golfers, they were right up there again. With DeChambeau was right up there, and then Hovland for the Ryder Cup, he was right up there. I mean, there's some interesting stuff for the
Shane Lowry's from Ireland.
Yep.
DeChambeau. Koepka was up there for a little while. You know, that pained me to see that dirty Seminole fall off.
Yeah, but you don't see anybody from the USA Ryder. You don't see Justin Thomas. You don't see
Xander
Spieth.
Schauffele.
You don't see Xander, but you don't see. Okay, who's on the USA Ryder Cup?
Well, Schauffele is. Homa.
Schauffele. Where's Rory?
I think Morikawa's on there, right?
I mean, Scheffler. I mean,
Yeah, Scotty Scheffler.
we just named 3 of the top 5 golfers in the world right now.
Morikawa will be on there.
Who finished in the top? Where did they finish in this tournament?
Morikawa
Schauffele won it.
Morikawa was 4th.
Yeah, Scheffler's like tied for 18th, something like that. Yeah,
Right.
but
So
he
two in the top 10.
And he won the Masters too. I mean,
and the
What about this
Players
tournament?
and Bay Hill and the damn Hilton Head tournament.
Yeah, but for this tournament, there was 2 in the top 10.
Homa.
Yeah,
And how
Was
many
Homa
people
in
in
the
there?
top 10?
Yeah, but
DeChambeau.
Yeah, he was in South
he
DeChambeau,
can still-
but he's can Liv play in the
I
Ryder
think
Cup?
he can play the Ryder Cup. Yeah.
I don't.
Or Liv
could be
people
wrong
playing
about
in the Ryder Cup?
Yeah, Brooks Koepka played in there because
Yeah.
he was on the. But
I mean, we just named 4 golfers in I think the top 15 at least. I mean, that's
Well, who do you think's going to be okay? Who is the captain of the Ryder Cup?
Zach
Isn't it Tiger?
Johnson.
It's Zach Johnson.
For this year.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was Zach Johnson last time.
Yeah.
Might be Tiger. Don't
I
you
thought
think?
Tiger was 2 times ago.
Oh, maybe you're right.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who it's going to be this year.
Could toss someone a bone and make it John Daly.
Hold, yeah, seriously, hold please.
Yeah, I don't know who it would be.
It might be Zach
Have they
Johnson,
announced
yeah.
it?
Maybe they might not have announced it.
Hold please.
Just
Okay.
played in the fall, right?
Yeah, he the Ryder Cup. Okay, so it's President's Cup this year. Ryder Cup was last
Right.
year, right?
Mm-hmm.
So who is the President's Cup captain? Jim Furyk.
Oh, Jimmy
that's a good
Furyk.
one.
Yeah, that's a Ponte Vedra boy.
Yeah. So, and where is it?
Yeah, where is the Ryder Cup?
The President's Cup.
The President's Cup. Let me. Where is the President's Cup? 2024. Well, the 2028 one is in Kingston Golf Club. Where's damn it? Maybe if I put 2024 in there. This is great radio here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, like
Yeah.
people have got to be riveted.
It is
Or
at
seven.
it is at the Royal Montreal Golf Club.
It's in
Okay.
Canada.
Right.
Oh,
Right.
Canada, with your poutine. What's that about?
Oh, that's some good stuff, though.
Poutine is not good.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
Great.
it's not. It's stupid cheese curds and the stupid gravy.
It's awesome.
I like cheese curds.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's good stuff.
it just doesn't look appetizing.
It's good.
Yeah, you people from the north. Let me tell you how
It's
fucked
very
up you
good.
are.
I'm from the
Very good.
West, but that's okay.
All right, you heard it here. He's from the west. He told me the other day he was from the north, and then I said, "No, you're not." And he said, "It's north of the Mason-Dixon line."
Yeah.
And I said, "Well, so is so is the Arctic Circle." But people from up there.
Oh boy.
Well, is there
Well,
anything else that we need to
you
talk
know-
about? Oh, you guys brought up the Jags. The Jags unveiled their plans for the new stadium. Did you guys see that?
Yeah, $1.4 billion
yeah.
dollars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody's taxes are going up.
No, they're
Everybody's
not. They're
taxes are
not.
going
They are not hitting a tax increase. They are not. They are splitting the cost with the city. The city is not going to increase taxes. They're taking it from the urban development plan that we've
Oh,
already
that's right.
paid
That's
for.
right. I read that.
That we've already paid for.
You're gonna play
So
a
there's not
Camping
gonna be
World
a-
for
Yeah.
one season?
Actually, they haven't made that decision yet
Oh, okay.
because they're trying to negotiate in Gainesville because the business owners. Okay, so have you guys ever been to Camping World Stadium in
Yes.
Orlando?
Yes.
Scary as hell.
Okay. Number one,
Scary.
it's a dumpster. Okay.
It's
Number
scary.
one.
Yeah.
Number two, it's like in the middle of a neighborhood. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Not
There's-
just any neighborhood.
yeah,
Not
yeah.
just
I
any
mean,
neighborhood.
it's in the middle of. Are you familiar with that television show Sanford and Son?
Yeah.
It's in the middle of that neighborhood. Okay.
It's in the middle of Crime Hills.
Well, there's not many hills there, but I get what you're saying.
Well, it's Pine Hills is the subdivision, but yes.
Okay. Oh, I didn't. You
I
know
didn't know that name.
Orlando?
I lived there for 6 years.
Oh, you poor soul.
Yeah.
I lived there for 11 months, and it was the worst 11 months. I couldn't. Orlando's so bad, hookers don't even work there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's how bad it is. You can't even
Yeah.
call a fucking escort service and say, I mean, so I've heard. So, anyhow, so Camping World Stadium is not a good stadium, but the business owners around, because what Gainesville has that Orlando doesn't is they have, like if you cross the street, you could go to like bars and restaurants and things of that nature.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So the business owners got together and they're like, hey man, we make so much money on Saturdays. We want to do that on Sunday too.
Yeah.
Because Sunday in Gainesville, especially down there by the stadium, is just a ghost town. Because everybody goes back to like Archer Road and back by the mall, and goes to like a sports bar to watch the NFL. Not these little college bars. That really thrive on game day because they're straight across the street from the stadium. Also, it holds 90-something thousand people. Not that 90-something thousand people are going to go see the Jaguars because they're not. But it's only an hour and a half versus 2 hours, and you don't have to deal with the panhandlers in Orlando, saying, "Hey, for $20, I'll watch your car."
Yeah, I think that the University of Florida would be a better option.
I thought it would have been cool if they would figure out a way to play it in the Speedway at Daytona.
They can play it in the
That's a
infield.
straight shot. That's a straight shot.
Yep.
That's real. I think Daytona is easier to get to than Gainesville, personally.
They can play it in infield. They certainly can do it. But you're so far away for the fans' perspective, you're far away from the
That'd
field.
be difficult. Yeah, that would be difficult.
But you can open up the pit. That would be as fun as you could open up the pit and you can have it. And there's definitely there. That would be fun. That would be a lot of fun.
I think if they were to test it somehow, because wouldn't it be interesting to see them have a Super Bowl in the Speedway? Yeah,
I mean,
'cause
that would be
that's one
crazy.
town.
How many people fit at the Speedway?
180,000
Yeah, you
somewhere.
could get you
It
could get
depends on if you count
crazy
the
money.
infield.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
how
if you
could you get like it's so big? Like how
yeah,
could
it's
you see the game?
well, I think what they were talking about the infield was big enough to put like a temporary temporary stands, over there and fit
Okay.
like 30,000 people. Because what the plan is now is for when they start construction, they're going to play 1 year while it's under construction in Jacksonville while the upper deck is under construction.
Right.
And they're just going to fill the lower bowl at limited seating.
Hmm.
And then when they start construction on the lower bowl, that's when they're going to move. They're only going to be gone for one season.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It'll be interesting. It'll be very interesting to see what happens. But
Looks like a sweet stadium.
yeah,
Like when it's
Yeah.
finished.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. But I mean, to attract what they want to attract, which is another Super Bowl, and the college football playoff, Final Four, things of that nature that typically goes to Tampa or Atlanta.
Right.
They're going to have to. I mean, I know the Four Seasons is opening in 2 years,
hmm
where Metro Park used to be, but that's just one hotel, man. They're going to have to. That was the big problem in '05 when we had the Super Bowl here. Was
Yeah.
I mean, they brought in cruise ships to act as hotels.
That wasn't a bad idea
You know,
though. I mean, that's
it
pretty
it
cool.
wasn't, and it was unique, but I mean, the media just constantly gave Jacksonville shit.
they're
The media did not want the Super Bowl here. That goes to show you, what people don't talk about, and what. Sooner or later, I'm gonna do a stupid history minute on every NFL team, and when I get around to the Jaguars, I'm gonna give a guy named Wayne Weaver props. That dude was a hell of a salesman. He sold the NFL on why they needed to come to Jacksonville, and he sold them on why there needed to be a fucking Super Bowl here.
well. It's funny that you mentioned cruise ships because just being in Green Bay, the big thing is talking about the draft being there for next year.
Yeah,
And they're worried about it too because there was 250, 300,000 or something in Detroit. And actually, I heard there might have been more, closer to 500,000 in Detroit this year. And they're expecting upwards of 750,000 people to be there at Lambeau. And they just don't have the capacity for it. So they're thinking about bringing cruise ships and putting it
Yeah,
on
in the bay.
in the bay.
Yeah.
And having people sit there amongst the hotels and around the surrounding areas where they can do it. And there's
isn't Green Bay a big Airbnb place though?
it is. People are. It's funny that because people are renting out their house right now for $4,000 a night with a minimum of 3 night stay.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
Right now?
Right. Well, they're setting it up.
for next
gotcha.
year.
For that weekend.
I got you.
I knew
Which
when
is
the Super Bowl was
crazy.
here. I knew many people who rented out their house and got the fuck out of Dodge.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it was crazy. I like that type of crazy. That's kind of my thing. I was
Yeah.
down there like every night. And that was '05. I mean, I had a 1-year-old. So and I can't imagine why I'm divorced. Yeah, honey, I'm going downtown. Have fun.
Yeah.
And I'll see you later. Super Bowl's not in your town every day.
No.
And it was nuts. I mean, it was crazy. I'd never seen anything in Jacksonville like that ever.
Yeah.
I mean,
I can't even imagine.
And
It'd be great.
I lived in Atlanta when the Super Bowl was there, and the Final Four and all that. But places like Atlanta and all that, they're set up for it. They're ready to get Tampa. I mean, hell, you've heard me speak about my love for Tampa. Before vibrant downtown, vibrant around the sports complex down there. And but I mean, it was just so out of place for Jacksonville to have it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we'll see. I think it'll. They're doing some good things down there. I think they'll revive it a little bit, and it'll be good. We'll see. But what else? No rant this week. Ken?
Well, I'm getting there. I
okay.
do want to take time out to tell the fine fans of the Philadelphia Phillies to go fuck themselves. I had a run in with them on the Twitter this weekend, and we weren't even playing them. So I would like to tell anybody who ever wears a Phillies hat, and you know who you are out there, fuck you. Bryce Harper, is stupid. Enjoy your 5-game lead. While the Braves lost 4 in a row. We didn't lose 5 in a row though. Here's a great trivia question: how long do you think it's been since the Braves have lost 5 in a row?
30 days.
Beeps.
Never.
No. The last time they lost 5 in a row was in 2017.
Oh,
It's been a second. But
hey, speaking of wearing things, aren't you sporting a new promo material?
Who?
You.
What?
Aren't you sporting new hats?
I mean, I have a new hat. Oh, yeah. Do want to give a shout out to First Coast Promos. They sent me a care package. They contacted me and then they said, hey, do you do merchandise? And I said, my podcast is 1 minute long. No. And they're like, well, can we send you some stuff? And if we do, would you mind being an influencer for us? And I said, I don't know who's going to fucking listen to me. But anyhow, maybe when I mention in their company, I probably shouldn't cuss, but fuck it. Anyhow, so I got a little mug and a little hat, and they actually made a nice tote bag for the soon-to-be world-famous wife.
Nice.
And we got some T-shirts, made, and they kind of took my logo and kind of made it really simple, which I kind of like. Not the show art, but if you follow me on social media, the circle one. So they kind of the SHM, and what was funny is soon-to-be world-famous wife took the bag she like immediately started, because it's like a nice bag. Right. And she immediately started using it, and she took it to school, and somebody was like, why do you have a stay-at-home mom bag?
Oh gosh, that's funny.
And she was like, no, my husband's an idiot, and he has this podcast called Stupid History Minute. And so I was like, that's good. That means you have to explain it to them. And they came up with a really good idea that people over at First Coast Promos is to create a business card with a QR code on it that goes straight to not just your podcast, but straight to it follows your podcast for the QR code would follow it.
Oh yeah, that's really good.
And I was like, that's an excellent idea, because once you put it in somebody's phone and they followed it, like if they listen to podcasts, as well as I do, that it just comes up on your queue. No matter where you listen to, I listen to Apple Podcasts. It's just comes up. And that's how I know to listen to all 11 minutes of Finding Your Way on Thursday, and and St. Joe on Monday.
You can do a lot in 11 minutes.
Yeah, I could do a shitload in 11 minutes. I mean,
you can.
Ask my wife.
Yeah.
And so, 11 minutes, that's a long time. That's a lot of work too.
Yeah.
But I did enjoy Finding Your Way last week. But I'm going to say it again. On Thursday mornings, I have a half-hour drive. At least a half-hour drive. And you are the only podcast that comes out on Thursdays.
Mm-hmm.
That I listen to. If there's somebody else out there that comes out on Thursdays, and you're
no
longer.
Wellness used to, but
yeah, but it's she's just Wednesday now, right?
I know.
I mean, the best podcasts come out on Wednesdays. Right, St. Joe?
Is that Sleepy G?
No, it's fucking this program, asshole.
Oh boy, what do you want to talk about? My God.
Well, I will say this: after you listen to this program on Wednesday, kick on over to the story of. We have a very good debate about the election of 1800. It's a very good election. That if you don't know who was in that election, you probably should tune in. I'm not going to tell you here.
Aaron Burr.
I can tell you.
Yeah. Can you tell? Here's a great trivia question. Can you name all 4 people that were running in that? All 5 people that were running in that.
In the 1800 election, I can only remember
Four.
can only remember the
you
main
can
two.
remember Jefferson Burr and there's John Adams as well.
Right.
You know, and there's a guy named Charles Pinckney.
Oh, that's right. Yep. Yep.
Yeah. So, yeah, but that's there. What's going on finding your way on Thursday?
You're gonna have to listen to find out.
That's such a dumb response.
Yeah, it makes you
You
listen
know,
though.
you got to tease it. You got to tease it, man.
This week will be a bit of advice.
A bit of advice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm done with you people.
A bit of advice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, St. Joe, what's going on? Nailed it on Monday, or are you giving out advice too?
No.
Yeah, everybody in
not,
Unfiltered Studios is giving out advice except for the Kev. My advice: go fuck yourself.
Wow.
You know?
That is some strong advice.
Buy the stupid history book.
Nailed it. We'll have some special guests on this week, and it is a very fun topic that we are approaching. It is a bit different from the normal nailed it episodes, but it'll be a fun one where we're actually having the crowd from the crew from the story of
No, that's cool.
and it'll be a fun episode. I'm looking forward to it. We're recording later this week, and it should be a pretty good one.
So today on the Stupid History Minute, we went through the history of the Legend of Zelda.
Zelda.
Fantastic.
The Legend of Zelda.
That game probably deserves more than a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sure, it takes 2 weeks to
your
beat
month
it.
has been a lot of fun with a lot of games.
Yeah, we're gonna finish out the month. Next month's gonna be fun, but fun too. But it's just we're just gonna switch. You know, we gotta switch it up. Yeah. But I tell you this, and I said this when I guested. I want to thank John for having me on Movie Lovers Unite the other night. That we talked about the movie, the fine feature film, the 1995 classic Bad Boys.
Bad Boys.
Yeah, because Bad Boys 4 is about to come out. But
That's crazy.
But I've never, in any series I've done out of 700 episodes, 694 episodes as we sit right now, never have I gotten so many nice messages about the Stupid History Minute until we started doing the video games. A lot of gamers out there. A lot of people, and you're either hitting the nostalgia or, you know, hey, I got to tell you, you know, I played. And you know what? I tell you this. I'm not big on the game, the World of Warcraft and Final Fantasy, and I got
Lots of people play those games.
Yeah, I got an episode coming out about Doom, you know, but like my son's going through this and like, you fucking forgot Fortnite, you know, and I'm like, well, I didn't necessarily forget it. I think that the game is stupid, you know, and and he's like, you friggin' forgot Madden, you know, and I'm like, oh, Madden will find its way in there. You know, and yeah, we might have a couple days where we do 2 episodes, but yeah, a lot of people play, you know, those games, and then you hit people in the nostalgia with the Galaga and the, you know, Space Invaders, you know, and I can't wait to see what people think about Tomorrow's, because Tomorrow's is probably my favorite arcade game, period.
Pole
Probably.
Position.
No, it's up there with Pole Position, you know. But this is a stand-up arcade game, you know, and that which was turned into an Atari game. Yeah, but it started as an arcade game. Probably my favorite. I think it's tomorrow. I'm pretty sure it's tomorrow. It's either tomorrow or the next day.
Pac-Man.
Miss Pac-Man. Miss Pac-Man.
Oh, I got one sitting right there.
Yeah.
The sit-down one.
I spent my allowance in quarters on that game. You know, and
Me and Mrs. St. Joe have some
Did you,
knockdown, drag 'em out games.
yeah.
So I think at some point it would be remiss of you not to have a series of where you do longer episodes about video games.
Okay.
You know, here's an idea. Why don't we get a gaming podcast?
Yeah,
we sort of have a couple,
Well,
right?
Kind of, but not a true.
All right, now,
gamer.
when you say gaming podcast, though, are you talking like somebody like you watch them play the game because
No,
that's
no,
not
no.
fun.
No,
Yeah, or
I'm
people
talking
that like review, like get a new game and like review it. Because I'll tell you this shit, me and my son are going back and forth and playing the hell out of PGA Tour 2K23.
yeah.
You know, yeah, I mean,
Well,
we're getting like we are getting like competitive and shit, and be like, hey, dude, how old are you? I'm 12. You know, I mean, you know, the people that are playing. I mean, like if we're not 50 under for the tournament, it's not good.
So
Yeah.
I'll say this to you, Kev. Like, there is a huge movement of people watching other people play video games.
Oh, I know, I know.
I don't get it myself necessarily. There are some guys who are really funny to watch because they
Right.
just get really upset, or
Yeah.
they just have that personality. But for the most part, it's kind of blah.
I get upset because there are very few games. I only play sports games, so there's very few games that I'm good at, right? And I feel that I'm good at PGA Tour 2K23. And so the other day, I'm playing my son just heads up, and we're playing some tournament. I think the Valero or something like that. And he's laughing at me. I said, it's customary in golf that when somebody swings to shut the fuck up. Yeah. he just looks at me like that, like that. He's like, "Damn, you're competitive. Like, it's just a game like that." See, that's what's wrong with your generation. You think it's just a game. If it's just a game, then why we keep score?
So is 2K23 the one that has Tiger Woods?
Yeah.
So
because I don't think
the other one. You didn't check the other game?
I don't think 2K24's come out yet.
No, like there's another game. There's another golf game that has the Masters course on it. That's the one I have.
For 23?
Yeah. It came out. It's got Pebble Beach. It's got the Masters. It's got a couple courses.
Yeah, we don't have that.
Oh.
Yeah, we have the 22 version that has the Masters, and well, one of them has. Does yours have the players? Because this one has the players.
They might both. It might have the players. Yeah. Yeah, it has the players. I played it like
this one's sanctioned by the PGA Tour.
Yeah, so is this one.
Well, they can't have two, so they have to be different years.
No, they're the same. They're the same.
Okay, what's that called then?
This is riveting.
Yeah. People love to hear this.
This is
you have PGA Tour 23. I have PGA 2K23.
Yeah, that's what it is. I have PGA Tour yet.
Yeah.
All that said, now that we put everybody to sleep,
right?
Oh my God! If they haven't clicked off already, they did.
There's still 9 people watching. Bless them.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
Yeah. I mean, we could say this is practice for the 24 hours of Unfiltered Studios.
Oh yeah, that's gonna go over real well.
I mean, Saint J's gonna sit there and talk about Taylor Swift for an hour.
Oh, why not? Why not?
But
I've got more drama coming up.
Anyhow, let's get out of here.
Yeah.
So go listen to everybody at unfpod.com. Listen to Beebs on Thursday. You can listen to Nailed It on Monday. You can go to unfpod.com and listen to anybody any day of the week. We got something for you. But every day we have Stupid History Minute. So go over if you want to listen to more about video games just in a shorter time span.
Yeah.
But for St. Joe, for Beebs, my name is the Kev. We'll catch you guys next week.
Catch you on the flippity flop.